Pranam. With folded hands, I welcome you all on the second day of this English webinar series on Garbh Sanskar, which is being organized by Aukade Sanskarvan PD cell of Shantikunj Haridwar and Gayatri Pariwar team Bangalore. My warm regards to respected Gayatri Didi, Arpita Katre Didi, who's the speaker today, all would-be mothers, the divine consciousness inside their womb, or our respected volunteers of Gayatri Pariwar, as well as all those who have joined this webinar today. As you all know, yesterday you heard Gayatri Didi on the science of Garbh Sanskar. Before we formally start this session, let us first invoke the divine presence of Param Pujya Gurudev, Param Vandaniya Mataji by chanting Gayatri Mantra. Sit straight, both your hands in your lap, visualize the rising sun and feel the charged high vibrations of the powerful Maha Mantra, which we call the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. As I was saying yesterday, you learned from respected Gayatri Didi the science of Garbh Sanskar and its importance regarding the holistic health of the mother and child, not only the physical, but mental, emotional, social, and spiritual health, and the importance of balancing all type of intelligences inside the womb. That is, not only the cognitive and learning abilities, but also the emotional intelligence, the spiritual intelligence of the baby, which we call balancing of IQ, EQ, and SQ. Various activities she talked about, which could inculcate high virtues, good values, a strong character, and the personality development of the child in future as the parents would wish to be. But do you think, is it possible overnight? Can the changes be brought in one day? No. We need our future parents to be prepared, to be aware of what they need to do from their end to have a good physical health, mental stability, good emotional balance, intelligence, divinity, good characteristics, high virtues and values in their offspring. But today, the problem is that majority of our young couples are not aware about this concept of planning. They land up with accidental kids. That is, that no preparation is done by the parents and that children are just being conceived by chance. And no wonder, medically we see that there is a high increase in congenital anomalies in the children, in the newborns, in the infants, that is the physical and the mental disabilities. And then the parents become frustrated when they see such results, or they do not find the desired results in their children. So we have with us Arpita ji, who will talk to us today on a very important subject, that is preparation for conception. And here we will see the need and importance required for this planning and preparation prior to conceiving the child, and how it impacts the process of conception, the journey of pregnancy, and the future personality of the baby. So she will talk about what need to be done prior to conception and what need to be avoided during these months and how much time it should be taken for planning this pregnancy. A short introduction about the speaker. Arpita Katre has done her Masters of Business Administration in Marketing and International Business from Pune University. She has worked with Tata Teleservices Limited as Assistant Manager, Corporate Communication, and led the South region, that is Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Orissa. Then worked with India Next Technologies Limited as Human Resource Manager, also worked with digital marketing team for Pan-India online marketing and advertisement. She is associated with Gayatri Pariwar. She's not only associated, she is a devoted volunteer of Gayatri Pariwar who works very hard for the mission. For the last 13 years, she has been actively participating in various social and spiritual activities conducted by the Gayatri Pariwar and Divine India Youth Association, Bangalore, at various forums for spreading the thoughts of our master, Param Pujya Gurudev Pandit Shri Ram Sharma Acharya Ji under the Thought Revolution movement. She is also the coordinator of Avgade Sanskar Vanpidi of Gayatri Pariwar Shantikunj for Karnataka region. She has taken more than 50 sessions on scientific aspects of preconception and pregnancy management on various platforms, and also conducted various workshops and seminars on topics of scientific spirituality like self-transformation and women holistic health management, personality refinement, lifestyle management, etc., etc. The list is endless, so let us not wait further. I invite, with great respect and love, dear Arpita, to please come and conduct this session.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta Didi. And a warm welcome to one and all present here on the second day of our webinar series of Let Us Build a Cultured Generation. So, as we talked yesterday about the science and significance of Garbh Sanskar, so we, as Sangeeta also told, that we studied all the importance that is required, and how we can actually design our baby the way we want, right? In perspective of the good health, mental condition, virtues, cultures, everything can be inculcated in the child in that 9 months of journey. And as she also told that it cannot actually happen overnight, right? So today we'll be seeing that why this preparation is so important. This is not something new that we are talking about. The preparation for conception was in our it starts it's long back in our Vedic culture. The rishis, our ancient rishis, they talked about this in the Garbhadan sanskar. That was one of the very important sanskar in the 16 sanskaras, in which the couples were given all the good instructions by their gurus, by the elders in the family. But over the period of time, we have actually ignored that particular the importance of this sanskar. So now, what through these sessions, we are just trying to revive that culture again and to bring the importance back in today's time, where it is more than required now. So let's move with today's session. So when I talk about preparation, right? So for what all things do we prepare? We prepare for almost everything in from the time we are born till the end of our life. There are various things day in and out for which we actually prepare. If we have birthday, if we have marriage, reception, any festivals, we give so much of time, money, and energy preparing for all these things, right? If there is an election, months of months this election promotions are going on. If there's any product launch, or if you're going for any tour, trips, or vacation, for everything, almost for everything, for even for the smallest of the event, we actually prepare. But when we talk about parenthood, which is the most wonderful and most important phase of our life, why do we ignore? Why we really ignore that? Because if one event, if one puja or one occasion if it is not being properly planned or prepared at 1 year, probably next year, every year it's going to come, right? And we can do it better next time. If we lose one election, probably we can win another election. Or if there is some party that is not that great, we cannot make it that great, there is always a next chance. But once the baby is born, or once we have actually missed that 9 months of that duration, so can we actually, we think that it is practically possible to, bring back that time? It's not possible, right? We want our kids that, they should be intelligent, they should be healthy, they should be valued, they should be sensitive. But what are we doing? We have unhealthy lifestyle, our thought process is not that correct, we have disturbed the biological clock. We want them to, to have a proper routine when they grow up, but do we have? So we are, surrounded by the various types of pollutions, radiations, and with all these wonderful things around us and the lifestyle that we are living in, we actually, we are not that healthy. Are we really that healthy that, we can give birth to the healthy kids? No, right? And even when we know, it's not that we don't know the importance that we should have a good health, our mental condition, our stress, what will impact it have, but we ignore it, right? So in the ignorance, what today it's happening is more, in the absence of the preparation and the planning, we are giving birth to the accidental kids, right? They are not planned, they are conceived by chance, because everyone is planning, so we are also planning. And just by chance, when we conceive, and after that we try to run around and try to do things which is actually not possible that time, right? So there is a very beautiful story that comes, that how our ancestors used to have such a wonderful kids. We have Shivaji, the son of Jijabai, we have Abhimanyu, we have such wonderful kids, we have Jhansi Ki Rani Lakshmi Bai. So they were not just born like that, it was the sheer efforts of their parents who gave birth to such a wonderful kids, right? So the story is like, in our ancestor, in long time back, there was a king called Ritudhwaj and his wife called Queen Madalsa. So they were the king of a state. So she gave birth to their sons, right? So the first three sons, when they were in their mother's womb, so she gave them the training and the knowledge about renunciation, that this to go into the higher level of the intelligence, or higher level of enlightenment, right? So the all the three kids that were born one after the other, so they became great saints. So the king was very worried that if all my kids will be the saints, then who will take care of my kingdom? So he went and he told to the Queen Madalsa that whenever we'll have the next child, I want you that you give her such a training that he becomes the king. He should have such a qualities to become the king. So when they had the fourth son, she gave such a training in that 9 months that he became a very big king, right? So that was the way, that was the effort that used to be taken by the parents. And today, all the Madalsas and all the Ritudhwaj, all the parents or the couples are actually sleeping, right? So to understand why this preparation is so important, I will go through many factors, which will tell us why this preparation is so important. So to start with, let me take a small example which will help us understand about it a little more. So we can see this wonderful crop, which is a lush green paddy crop. So if we see the the life cycle of this crop, it does not happen overnight. It's the months hard work of the farmer, starting from the sowing to providing the water, the fertilizer, removing the weeds, and then he is going to get, after 3 months, 4 months of taking the whole care of the field, he'll get such an amazing crop, right? But whoever knows the this farming little more will agree with me that it does not actually starts only from the only from the sowing. It starts much before. It starts from the time the farmer is preparing the land, because we all know that on the barren land we really cannot have a great or a good crop, right? We cannot expect a good crop from a barren land. So what the first step is making the land fertile. So what he'll do is he'll remove all the weeds, all the impurities from the land. He'll cultivate it. He'll put the fertilizer. Once the rain comes, after that again he'll again make it, level it, and after that the process of sowing starts, right? So the first step is making that land fertile. Then second, very important for the farming, is the seed, the quality of the seeds. So there are three factors in it. First is the germination percentage. How many of the seeds, out of the seeds that we spread, is going to germinate. Second is free from the diseases. If the seeds are, if they have some diseases, or if it's not of good quality, so it's not going to give such a good result. And third is the growth rate. What is the speed of it? Because if the growth is not good, it will die off in between, right? So these are the factors which are responsible, to get a good yield. Similarly, when we see our reproductive system, or the reproductive system of the humans, so here if we see in the context of the our system, so the land that we were talking, the fertile land that we were talking about, are us, right? How fertile our reproductive systems are. If we are not that fertile, or if we are not that healthy to produce the healthy eggs and sperms, we'll not be able to get the first stage clear, right? Second is your seeds. Your seeds here is your eggs and the sperms, right? The parents' eggs and the sperms. So if that is not healthy, the first is if they have any diseases, right? We were talking about the unhealthy lifestyle, the diet, the pollution, the radiation. So all these things are actually, giving rise to lot of physical, mental, psychological diseases in the parents. And if at the time of conception, if these diseases are, or any abnormalities are there in the parents, the chances are that they are going to get transferred to the kids, right? And second, if the seed quality, or if the eggs and sperm, they are not of the good quality, the conception itself will not take place. So if we just see the basic anatomy of the sperm and the egg, so it has two parts. One is your mitochondria, and the second is your DNA. So mitochondria is nothing but your powerhouse, right? So if we don't have, if the the energy level is less, the the sperms cannot move, or its movement will be restricted. And in mother's egg, the mitochondria will be responsible for the growth of the baby, right? And the second important part is your DNA. So we all know that our kids are nothing but they are made up of our DNAs, right? The parents' DNA. So they are very similar to us in looks, in habits, and everything. Why? Because they are made up of our DNAs. So if there is any abnormalities, or any distortion, or any issues in these DNAs due to unhealthy lifestyle, or any chronic diseases, or your diet, there are many factors that impact the DNA. So if there is anything that is going to impact the fertility, and if by chance it will get fertile, this fertilization takes place, then the abnormalities are going to transfer to your kids at the time of your conception. Okay, so we'll just see few factors, which are affecting the health of your reproductive cells, right? So the first and the foremost is definitely your physical health. So if either, when we are talking about all these things, it's definitely both the mother and the father. So if either of the parents are, overweight or underweight, or if they have any this diabetes, thyroid problem, or any of these chronic diseases, hormonal imbalance is going to have the direct impact on the baby. Okay. Second is your psychological, your stress condition, your thought process. All these things, will have a very great impact, first on your conception, that is your fertilization, and second on your upcoming baby. So we'll go on, all these things one by one in detail in further slides. Third is your alcohol, smoke, and recreational drug. I really don't need to tell what all impact does it have, from the smallest of the things to from the asthma to cancer. All these things are the gift of alcohol, smoking, and your recreational drug. Not only from the this like physical point of view, but if we talk about the Ayurveda also, the Ayurveda says that your diet, your thoughts, and lifestyle, that is your ahar, vihar, and your achar, right, and your harmony with the nature and time, all these will have a very important impact on your fertility, on your overall health, and thus impacting your fertility, right? Because if all these things are disturbed, if there is imbalance in it, is going to impact the functioning of your endocrine system. So let's, very short and very fast, we'll just try to understand what is the endocrine system. Though we have all studied in our schools the endocrine system, but still, to understand here, we'll just go in a very in a quick way, that what is endocrine system. So our complete body is regulated by the various glands. There is a system of glands which, through which there are different chemicals, if we say in the simple words, or in medical words, it is the hormones. So when different hormones are being released from these glands, that regulates the entire system of our body, right? And here the pineal gland being the most, being the major gland, okay, that is the master gland that we call. So master gland, from there, depending upon our stress condition or our mental condition, so from there, this that sort of hormones, or that sort of signals are being released, which through your pineal gland and hypothalamus, it goes to the various different glands across the body, and according to that, the different glands secrete such types of hormones, and such in that way the complete body system is regulated. So if the people are usually happy, calm, relaxed, so such types of positive hormones is going to release, and your body will react positively. And if the stress hormones or the negative hormones are released, then what will happen? Similar types of negative hormones are going to release, and it is going to disturb the entire balance of your endocrine system. And whichever part will be, will be less weak, probably which will be weak, with that sort of uh, diseases we are going to have. So the research says that the main cause of infertility is your imbalance of the endocrine system. And also there are various sort of psychosomatic diseases that are happening due to the imbalance, or due to the stress level in our body, because psychosomatic is nothing but the impact of your psychology, your mental status on your body. So depending upon your mental condition, the similar types of hormones are released in your body, and thus impacts your entire system, right? So if we understand that, how these hormones are going to impact, so in very simple words, if we'll just understand that there are three systems, right? One is spermatogenesis, oogenesis, and the fertilization process. So spermatogenesis is nothing but is a process of the developing from a single cell to a matured sperm, that when it is made. So that complete process is called spermatogenesis. And oogenesis is, again, your from immature cell to the mature egg, the process of which is the oogenesis. And finally, when they meet, the fertilization process. So these are the three important steps of the conception, right? So all the three steps requires the assistance of hormones, right? So when we say that, due to our lifestyle, or due to our stress, or due to the XYZ factors, if their endocrine system or your hormones get imbalanced or disturbed, your complete process of spermatogenesis, that is the production or the development of your reproductive cells, they completely get disturbed, and you are not able to clear your first stage, that is you you're not able to conceive, or the or in simple words, it leads to the infertility, right? So it's a simple process which goes that from the brain, such signal goes to your pituitary, from pituitary it goes to your reproductive system, and from there it decides that whether the formation is possible or not, right? Or according to that, even if the production is or if that is produced, that the quality of the reproductive cells will not be that great so that it can fertilize and can lead to the conception. Similarly, that was in this was in the case of males. In the case of females, if we see that the hormones, we all know that ovulation, it's all about the hormones, right? There are certain types of hormones that are released during the time of ovulation, which helps in the fertilization process. But if your hormones are imbalanced or there is disruption into that, so what will happen at the time of ovulation? The required hormones will not be available to at the time of fertilization, and because the hormone that is being released, its secretion get delayed. So it's not possible for at the time of fertilization, the required hormones are not available, and thus your conception does not take place. So can we change it overnight? Is it possible that with so much of effort, such a long effort, we have disturbed and deteriorated our whole system, probably our endocrine system? So is it possible to change it overnight? Actually not, right? We Our digestive system, probably some other system, to some extent can repair itself, but endocrine system, there is no research till now which says that it can repair itself. It takes an external effort, right? You need certain religious practices that that needs to be done religiously, probably, which needs to be done on the regular basis, which will help you to bring back your endocrine system to a healthy state. So it minimum it takes, if you feel that you have not that disturbed biological clock, or not that disturbed healthy state, but still to get into a healthy state so that you can conceive a healthy baby. So it requires serious effort of 2 to 3 months. And if you are in such a job, or if your routine is like that, the things are not up to the mark, then definitely it takes more than that, depending upon your lifestyle, right? Yesterday we talked about epigenetics, a very wonderful factor, actually. So yesterday we saw that how epigenetics will have an impact on the baby, right, during that 9 months uh, of the journey of the baby. Here, epigenetics plays very important role, before the conception. What is epigenetics? Epigenetics is nothing but the expression of the genes, right? We know that we have DNAs and we have genes. So when the expression of the genes is impacted by the various factors like your diet, your aging, your environment, and various other factors, so what will happen? The gene expression is going to get disturbed. So it'll get it switches on and off, right? So what will happen here, that if the epigenetics, if you have disturbed your if your unhealthy lifestyle or your diet is not proper, so you'll have different types of epigenetic diseases, right? In which will lead to different health problems in the parents, right? Like you'll have the mental disorders, you can have diabetes, you can have cancers. And at the time of conception, if we have any of these epigenetic issues in us, the chances of this genes transferring to our kids is more. And we don't know how these genes are going to express themselves in the kids, right? So the chances of getting various diseases in the kids are increased, right? So here this is very important slide, where we say that this process of when we were talking about the spermatogenesis, that the process of the immature cell, developing to a complete mature cell. So the duration of it is almost 64 days, right? So this 64 days, if during that time, if our the endocrine system is not good, or if we have psychosomatic issues, diseases, or we have epigenetic disorders, so what will happen during this 64 days? The chances of all the diseases passing on to our babies increase, because it is through our these cells, it gets transferred through these cells to our babies, right? So for a healthy sperm and eggs, it is very important to tune our routine, adapt a healthy lifestyle at least 4 to 5 months before, right? So as we talked that, it's not that overnight it can, replenish itself, or it can, it gets to an healthy state. It takes a serious effort of 4 to 5 months, right? Third important factor, that is very much, very much important here, is your digestive system. We all know the importance of digestive system in daily life, in regular life also. The digestive system plays a very important role. But here, when we are actually trying to conceive our baby, or healthy baby, the digestive system becomes really very important. So if we, in a simple word, if we say that what is the role of digestive system, so it's nothing that it's it just break down the food. It takes out the nutritional juice, and it from that nutritional juice, it's given to sent to the entire body, through which we get the nutrients, the essential nutrients, and the energy that is required for our daily job, right? But when we see in perspective of our when we see in the perspective of Ayurveda, so it plays much more role, right? Because what Ayurveda say is that dosh dhatu mal moolam hi shariram. What is it? That these are the three factors through which our body, the entire system, is made up of. So we'll not go into the English versions of it, because the meaning gets changed. So we all know the basic jargons of right, Ayurveda. So we'll just go and try and understand in the same way that the three major constraints are the three major the parts of it are the doshas, the saptadhatus, and the mal. The doshas are Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. We know that if there is any disturbance in either of these doshas, the Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, that that is responsible for the different diseases in our body. The imbalance in any of these cause the different diseases, or the problems, or the health issues, right? Then the second very important is your Saptadhatu. Saptadhatu is what? Ras, Rakt, Mas, Med, Asti, Majja, and Shukra. Ras is your the nutritional juice. So when we talk here of the digestive system, that from this digestion, if you don't have the good digestive system, what will happen? Your food will not be digested properly, and the nutritional juice that is required for the nourishment and the energy will not be able to get that. So here, the whole system is going to disturb if you don't have the good digestive system, because your saptadhatu is, through it's complete process here. Through ras, your rakt is made. Through ras is your nutritional juice. From there, the rakt is made. Rakt is your blood. From there, mas is your muscles. Your med, Med is your fats, or the important the fat part of it. Then your asti is your bones, majja is your bone marrow and your nervous system, and then finally through it is your shukra, or your reproductive cells. So if your digestive system is not good, so the production of ras is reduced. Ras is reduced, so then the rakt, then mas, med, and finally till the time it reaches to the shukra, the actually nothing is left, so out of which the sugar could be made. So if you don't have the good digestive system, the production of your rust, that is your sperms and eggs in the simple words, or shukr and arta, that is your reproductive cells, the production itself will be reduced, right? So here it plays a very important role, that when you want to actually plan, your digestive system has to be really good to understand it in more detail. So if you have a wrong food habit or unhealthy lifestyle, there'll be deformities in your doshas, right? What were the doshas? Your vata, pitta, kapha, right? So if those will have the deformities, so they'll have to impact. One is your your digestion will not be good, so your excretion will not be good, right? You'll have constipation, you'll have all the stomach related issues. And second is, as we talked about, there will be impairment in the dhatus, your ras, rakt, and finally your shukra. That will not be, either there is reduction in the production of the shukra, or there will be distortion, right? So what is happening here? So if the digestive system has to be really great if we want to have the good dhatus, right? Or the reproductive cell in short. And it becomes very much important when that when we have to conceive, because once the conception happens, there is a hormone called progesterone that increases in the mother's body, right? So there is this particular hormone, when it get increased in the mother body, what will happen? The digestive system becomes slower. So if at the time of conception, if the digestive system of the mother was not good, and further after the conception, the progesterone, the hormone that is released, that is very important at the time during the pregnancy. So if that has further lowered your digestive system, what will happen? That all the nutrition that is required, right? Because from where the baby is going to get the nutrition? From the mother itself, right? So if mother itself is has the lack of nutrition due to the improper or the improper digestive system, the nutrition gone to the baby, it'll further, it will not be proper, or the baby cannot get the proper nutrition, right? So it is very important. So it is very important that at the time of conception, your digestive system is very strong, so that after conceiving also, you should you can maintain that level of so that the nutrition can be provided to the mother as well as the baby. So there are further few more factors which are responsible for the infertility. So we'll just go not in very detail, but in very simple words, there are like few things that are milk and the milk products. We are from our childhood, we are being told that we should drink milk, 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 milk everywhere around milk. So there are we talk about so many good things about milk, but that was the milk that we used to get when we used to have this cows in our house, in our own houses, right? But the milk that we are getting now, that is nothing but it's all the estrogen chemical, right? Because the population that we have, it's not actually possible that we don't have that much of mammals to provide such a big crowd the milk or the milk products. And if we see, the milk is available 24/7. So what is done? The mammals are given injections of estrogens to increase the production of the milk, right? And that estrogen is get absorbed in the mother's into the mammal's milk, and it when we drink it, it gets into our body, and estrogen is not good for us. It impacts your fertility. So it's very much not that it's a good idea to have milk or any milk products. Second is a refined oil. I don't need to tell you the how bad refined oil is. It's leading to the various types of diseases, uh, various types of diseases till cancer. Animal protein is anyways not good for us, because we cannot digest. I mean, we don't have such a system that we can digest the animal protein. Then there's PFOA. PFOA is the very wonderful chemical that is put into the wrappers of your junk foods. Okay, so the wrappers in which your popcorn packets, your this pizzas and burgers, and your wafers. So whatever the packets that come, so there's a lining that comes into those boxes. So in that, this particular chemical is there, which impacts highly, our health as well as our fertility. Alcohol, smoking, we all know. Fast food, junk food, teen food, packed food. So we all know that, it's zero in nutrition, first of all. And second, it's actually, disturbing your digestive system, disturbing your entire system. So it's actually not that great. So if we see, in a very brief, we'll just see that what is the preconception health, how it's going to affect your child's health. So if either of the parents are obese, or if they have any depression, blood pressure, everything is going to, impact your baby. Either the baby will have the heart stroke problem, heart problems, immune diseases, diabetes, starting from the birth, right? From they'll have one after the conception. If you have, if you continue with all these diseases, they'll have the low birth weight, gestational age will be less, they can have many of the developmental issues, right? So at the time of conception, it's very important that, you should have a very good diet and the health. So we saw this, that, how your sperms, how your eggs, how the endocrine system, how the digestive system, how epigenetics have an impact on the parents, right? Or how they're doing so much of diseases to the parents, and at the time of conception, if they'll have, there is more chances to, pass it on to the baby. So now, just, we'll just in a very short. Yesterday we saw this 9 months journey of the baby in the womb. Today we'll just see, in context that, if we are not prepared, then what? Right? So the research says that, the early movement, the early moments of birth, and the time in the when the baby is in the womb, these are the most formative moments in our life. As we saw yesterday, that whatever the baby is learning in those 9 months, it actually designs and defines his entire personality and his entire life, right? So if we see this, if we saw this chart yesterday, this is a very beautiful chart. So it says here that, all 1, 2, 3, 4 is the weeks that here that is in the mother's womb. So that is like 40 weeks. The complete baby is, there's a 9 months and 9 days. So here, if we see that this three is the third week. So if we see that, the third week, from the third week, majorly, actually the baby has already started learning, as we saw yesterday, that the baby has almost started learning from the time of conception. But if we see the major, developmental factors, or the major development, that is starting from the third week itself. If you see the CNS, that is your central nervous system, which is your brain and your nervous system. So that has already started developing from the third week. And if you see all the other important parts of your body, they are also almost started developing from the third and the fourth week, right? And by the time the parent or the mother knows that he has conceived, it's almost between the fifth to sixth week, right? Because till fourth week, we are actually unaware. Fifth week, when we actually misses our first cycle, is when we, realize, okay, that we have conceived. By the time you get checkups and done and the sonographies, we are almost in the fifth week. And if you see in the fifth week, we can see there's so much of major development. The dark blue lines are the major developmental phase of the baby. The major developmental phases are happening here. And can we imagine? Can we imagine that if we are not prepared, neither physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and, if we have all the wonderful diets and the lifestyles and the disturbed biological clocks and the radiation impacts on us. So with this, and unaware that we are already, having the baby inside us, so we are missing on this important developmental time. And when we say this, the most important developmental time, so the major morphological abnormalities, or congenital anomalies are going to, the chances of that happening is more during this time, right? So, if we are not prepared, if we are not healthy from at the time of conception, what we are doing is, by the time we'll realize, or by the time we'll try to change, because we saw that it's not easy, or it's not actually feasible to change ourselves overnight. So what is happening, by the time we'll just try to control and get back to the system or get back to the good health, we have already missed the important developmental time, right? And it's not us, it's the medical Harvard school, this Harvard Medical School, which says that really almost all the epigenetics, all the important embryological developments takes place in the first few weeks of pregnancy. That is when a lot of really key things are happening. Your brain development, your entire spine, your nerves are developed in the first couple of weeks. And if we are not prepared, I don't need to say what we are missing at, right? So we saw, I'll just take you through that, the beautiful journey in very short way, that your baby's brain is making, the senses are making, are being developed or stimulated in the first trimester. The kidney starts functioning in the second trimester. The brain is developing at a very fast speed. He can recognize, smell, taste. He starts reacting. He starts listening to it. We teach a lot of kids the Gitas and all the wonderful things in this 9 months, as we saw yesterday, with the womb communication, with the mantras, with the Gita part, everything that we do in this 9 months. Why? Because the baby is learning. And if we are not actually prepared, what is happening? We are missing all these developmental phases of the baby. And here, as we saw that, if you're not prepared, we don't know what our thoughts, what our stress level, what our emotion having impact. So what is happening, if the mother is not happy during this time, so he's confused, right? Because he was not prepared. Suddenly the baby has come and he's not able to, because then there is so much of physical activities going on, changes going on. So if she is not able to cope up with this, the changes, so what will happen? She'll be stressed. If you are prepared, then you know that what all things are impacting. So you'll try to be more calm, relaxed, happy, because you are already prepared. So such types of hormones, as we saw, is going to released. And according to that, our all these hormones are getting transferred to the baby. So similar type of the good qualities will be developed in our babies, right? And if the mother is stressed, what will happen? Then such types of negative hormones are going to release. And what will happen? There will be two impact. First will be, due to that stress hormones, the muscles, or the umbilical cord will get pressed, and all the nutrition, or the proper circulation of the blood will not be there, through which the nutrition, the nutrition and your oxygen should go. So what will happen, that if mother is more of the time very stressed, or very tensed, or confused, or she is not in that healthy state, what will happen? The proper circulation of the blood will not happen, because she'll be more in the stressed condition. So the proper nutrition will not reach to the baby, and the baby's developmental, or the growth and the development of the baby will be hampered. And second is, such types of hormones are released from the mother's body, which is passing through the blood of the mother to the baby. And how the baby will be? The baby will be the cranky, the fuzzy baby. He'll always be crying, and we can see the babies are very aggressive. So the type of babies that we are seeing more is such types of babies, right? So we saw that, to sum up, there is 80% of the child's mental and emotional development happens when he or she is in the mother's womb. So if we see that, this 80% of the mental emotional development is happening, and if we are actually not prepared, what will happen? Only a filled, if we even if we take the general example, that if we want to fill 4 glasses, right? If we want to fill the 4 glasses with something, so whatever the jar will have, that will only be filled, right? If the jar will have water, the glasses will be filled with the water. If the jar will have the milk, it will be filled with the milk. If it will have nectar, it will be filled with the nectar. And if the jar is empty, definitely the glass will be empty, right? So if we don't have all those things, we want everything good, but for that, it is very important that we have all those things so that we can pass all the great things to our kids, right? So as we saw that nothing happens overnight, right? It has to be prepared much in advance. So just to summarize, I have put just few points that it will help if you are prepared. Then it will help with all these things that will give a very good health to the baby, a happy and healthy pregnancy. We can inculcate good values, the knowledge. We'll have the wonderful baby with who's very mentally strong, physically fit, emotionally stable, who will be the blessing to the family and the boon to the country, right? So, but still, we could say that it's if it's easy for me. When we'll plan, when I'll conceive, we'll do it. So we'll just take a small example that who are these? These are the best players of our country, right? So it would be like tomorrow is the match. So one day before they would get up and they'll say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go and play. It's not possible, right? To be the best, or to be, or to play, or to give their best, they have to actually or be or prepare themselves day in and out. That is how they become the best, right? So irrespective of how deterministic, how I feel that okay, I'll do it the best, but still it takes time. And especially when the mother conceives, there are so many psychological and physical issues, changes actually that happens in the body of the mother and in her mind, that at that time, if you say her that you should adapt this, you should change your lifestyle, your diet, your mental you should stay calm and this and that, so it's not actually feasible for the mother, right? So it's not. And why only mother? It's everyone's responsibility actually. It's not only the mother who that if usually the perception goes that okay, if it's a mother, mother has to conceive the baby for the 9 months, so she should do all the things. No, right? It has to be the responsibility of the whole family, because if we see that not one person can make win the match, right? If it has to be done, it has to be done with the whole team effort. And if we see that we do there's a cricket team, they play different types of game. Why? So that they can have this synergy, right? They can have this synergy and they can understand each other psychologically, right? So if we want that we can do great, so as a family, so everyone has to put their efforts. So because we come from the different backgrounds, so what we have to do is we have to make a synergy, and we have to make our family environment such that we can help each other attain that goal. And if if you're not doing that, we know that once the time is gone, we really can't pull it back. So what we need now, we understood that why it is so important. So now what we have to do, we have to stop smoking, alcohol, or any addiction. We have to check our health and nutrition well-being. We have to actually plan and tune our lifestyle. Vaccination, screening, preconception medicines, and preconceptional panchkarma. So these are the few things that has to be done. We know, we like we talked about smoking, alcohol, and other addiction. It is not good. So definitely we should avoid that. In India, though we don't do it much, but still it's recommended not to do it, because just to tell in a few words, the chemicals that is there in in alcohol and your smoke, your in cigarettes, that emits the free radicals, or it emits the free radicals, or it increases the free radicals in our body, which tends to kill the reproductive cell in our body, thus leading to the infertility. Second is your healthy life. You have to tune your lifestyle. So when I talk about lifestyle, it has to be the holistic, it has to be physical, it has to be mental, psychological, spiritual, everything. So when we talk about the lifestyle, it has to be balanced nutrition, good physical health, your vital energy has to be really high, you should have the stress free mind, your thought management. So we'll just go one by one. So first is preparing yourself. It starts with tracking your cycle, right? Tracking your monthly cycle. If there is any disturbance, please get it checked with your doctor. If you're taking any birth control pills, you have to stop it immediately. Go and have a preconceptional visit to a good gynecologist or a good doctor. Get your all the tests done, your vaccinations done, and check if you have any genetic diseases or if you have any chronic diseases. So first of all, you have to get all those things uh, aligned, and if there is anything, first you have to resolve that, right? If you have any diabetes or any thyroid problems, suppose that has to be on the normal state, then only you can go ahead with that. Start with the multivitamins, folic acids, uh, make a healthy regime for yourself, a daily routine. It cannot be that one day you're doing it, second day you're leaving it, third day you're just adapting some few things. No, it has to be aligned with the biological clock. It should be it should be in sync with the how the system is. So guzzle a lot of water, no alcohol and smoking, and caffeine intake should be reduced. Second, very important is your diet, because when at the time of conception, your diet will play a very important role. If there is any micronutrition or the nutrition deficiencies, it will have an impact on the babies. It will lead to many genetical anomalies into the babies. So folic acid deficiency, as we all know, will lead to the spinal defects and the embryo abnormalities. And at the time of conception, if the mother's diet is poor, so it will lead to preterm birth, problems in pregnancy, all the developmental issues, and also in the father's, the health. That will have an impact on the first your fertility, and second on the baby's development as well. Second, very important is what you have to eat. We all know, I mean, we all are the high-tech generation. We know about everything that needs to be taken, right? But still, we recommend that, for this, you can have more of the sprouted grains, because that is a complete diet. If you are working, if you really cannot, make so many things. So, but the easy things are, you can have more of fruits, vegetables, sprouts, green juices, millets. Millets are really very, fiber rich food, so you can shift from to millets. There are some Ayurvedic medicines which are recommended. These does not have any side effect. It will help in your overall health, your immunity, and it will help to boost your fertility. So this could be taken by anyone, or if you have any issues, you can consult to your Ayurvedic the experts. They can help you more with it. Similarly, for the father, also there's he should have more of folic acid, the food rich in zinc, vitamin C. So that will help in the the overall immunity as well as the fertility. For him, also there is some couple of medicines that are recommended to they can have it. Then next is
Please unmute yourself. Arpita, please unmute yourself.
So for one day fasting or the half of the day fasting, that is what we recommend, because that reduces your toxins in your body and it re-energizes your cells. So you can have fasting not without food if that's not possible. So you can have it with the juices or the juices or with the coconut water. So that we recommend, so that it will help you rejuvenate. We can have before that we can have preconceptional vaccinations and screenings. That is very important. So you can according to your health condition, you can go and visit your gynecologist. She'll help you with all these vaccinations. Very important and wonderful is your preconceptional panch karma. So it is we don't have much of time, otherwise I would have explained you. But this panch karma can be really taken. It is very it's very good way to actually remove the toxins from your body, and to lower down your stress level, and it also helps you boost your fertility. So we can definitely go for the Panch Karma with the help of the experts. We all know the importance of asana and the exercises. So make a daily routine of the exercises, at least 45 minutes of daily exercises. So which all exercises which we need? The exercises which will improve your immunity and your stamina, strengthen your reproductive organs, improve your digestion, and and which will give flexibility to your backbones. So you can take the help of the experts who can help you with different asanas, and we can have the routine according to your requirements, right? Then second, then very important is the radiation. We all know the radiation hazards, so we should avoid as much. Those science has made our life really very easy, but radiations, the gadgets that we are surrounded with, the mobile, the microwaves, the laptops, they are actually emitting so much of radiation. And these radiations, these gadgets are usually very near to our reproductive systems, right? So it is actually impacting. There are a lot of researches which talks about how much impact that will have, and how it is actually leading to infertility by damaging our reproductive cells. So please be aware of the radiations. Pranayam that needs to be done. We all know that the pranayam increase the oxygen level in us. It increase the pran tattva in us, and also it improves it. It helps in lowering down the stress and your calming down yourself, and thus impacting your whole endocrine system, because your psychosomatic diseases get reduced by this. So thus improving your fertility by it. So there are various pranayams that could be done. Nadi Chodhan, Ulum Vilom, Surya, Vedan. So these all will have the indirect as well as the direct, both the impact on you, on your fertility. Very important is, don't plan your conception in dilemma. No dilemma. So if there is any dilemma, please first, first actually plan, first actually fit yourself that okay, I really want to go ahead with it or not, because once you are in dilemma, there's so much of stressed condition, right? Whether we want to go ahead or not, and we are not able to actually prepare ourselves, or we cannot do things that is actually required. And if we are not prepared, and once we have conceived in that state, so that we are not able to actually handle that pregnancy time in that in that situation, in that condition. So it is not only impacting the mother, but it is also going to have a very bad impact on the baby and his overall health. So should actually make your mind first, and then you should plan. Psychological preparation is more about your relationship management, your thought management, and third is your surrounding management. Relationship management is when both the couples, when both of them actually have the common understanding, the common goal, that is this is what we want actually, that this is how we want to prepare ourselves, this is the what we want our kids to be like. So when they have the common goal, and when they have the proper communication, so what will happen, it will be very easier for them to prepare themselves. It will be easier when they both will do things together. It will become more easier for them to do it. So mutual understanding, because today both the couples are working, right? So both of them are working. So, there'll be a lot of adjustments that will be required, right? So it becomes very, easy when you have a good understanding. You should understand the different differences between yourself. We should understand what are my, shortcomings, what are my, lackings, and what is my partner's, so that, you can align according to it and attract positivity, attract love, peace, and, there are people, once if they are not able to conceive, they get so stressed, right? So they usually in a negative mode. So what you do is, rather than that, you should affirm, affirm yourself that, I'm going to get, or what I'm, willing to, or what I want to, right? So rather than going to the stress condition, it's through your thoughts we can, actually uh, design, or we can, make our body do what we want, right? Surrounding management, it's again, be in the surrounding which will, make you feel happy. There should be good surrounding, good happy environment at your home. So that will help you psychologically, and, help you reduce the stress, and your, will have a good emotions. So that will, help in secreting good hormones, which will help in boosting your fertility. There are further more tools like meditation, good literature, music, that can help you with that, with, increasing your mental calmness, and thus reducing your stress. So with this, I'll just come to end to my like session. I hope and wish that, with this session we'll actually get an insight that why so much, importance is being given to this duration, that, that 9 months could be fruitful, and could be, as we want, if we are actually prepared, if the couples are actually prepared themselves. So thank you so much, and thank you.
Thank you, Arpita. What a wonderful rendition of the subject. How elaborately you have touched each aspect of planning. And I hope the couples who have joined today, even the volunteers, will learn a lot from this session, and it will go a long way, help us all to guide those who come in our touch, so that we can help them in planning a genius baby, or the baby of their desire. So any questions from the audience, you can put it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. Tripti Mantri, she has raised
Yes.
her hand, please.
Ma'am, I have one question. Like, if we want, we want to select a gender, can we plan for that also? If I want a girl child, because I already have two sons, so if I want a girl child, can I do something for that?
Well, no, I don't think so. And let us not be gender biased, because
Okay.
we should welcome each and every baby as it is, whatever you are.
Yes, ma'am. I already have two male gender in my place, so I was like looking forward. We are eagerly waiting for a girl child, and so I thought if we can do something, if there is assurance like we can get the female gender, then definitely I can go for it.
I
नहीं,
think
हमारे गुरुदेव ने एक
it's
नारा दिया है, नर और नारी एक समान.
एक
So
समान.
we can't really guide you on this. And medically also, it is illegal to select
No,
gender.
there's no problem with like I don't want to define, but if I want to get a girl child, then I would like to know. अगर ऐसा कुछ है, तो I will definitely plan for it.
No, you can pray, invoke मातृ शक्ति.
Okay.
है ना? आप आवाहन करिए. You can invite, you can pray to some deity, I mean, to Devi, maybe Devi Ma, and then invite her as your daughter.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's the most we can tell you about.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Arpita, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, actually, I mean, whatever is being given is a blessing from the God. So I think we should accept. So
But ma'am, like some says कि Chinese calendar के हिसाब से कर सकते हैं. So is that true, or it is just like not 100% assurance?
it's Actually, we don't actually believe in all these things, so probably, sorry, we will not be actually, we help you with this. So, whatever is being given by, the Almighty is always welcomed. So,
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you.
welcome.
Any more questions? You can put it in the chat box. I can't see any questions right now. If there are no questions, shall we wind up?
Sure.
I again invite our participants for the question answer session, if they have any. If there are no questions coming up, then probably we would do the Shanti part. Shall we proceed for the Shanti part?
Yeah.
Because there are no questions in the chat box and I can't see any hands being raised as well. Will this PPT be shared? Well, this will be, this is being already recorded and it will be on the YouTube, and we'll share the the link with you. Yes, we have two more hand raised.
Yes, ma'am.
Jane, yes, please,
Yeah.
your question, please.
Ma'am, that study duties which you showed in your PPT, so we need to take in planning phase, or we can take it in pregnancy time also.
What I couldn't
That
get?
Jadi Puti Shatavari and
No. Those are for the preconception duration only. For during the pregnancy, there are different medicines which will be different, so that you can take it with the advice of the Ayurvedic doctor only. You cannot take it on your own. These, the one that we showed, are the general medicines which will help you with the overall immunity and boost your fertility. But during pregnancy, it has to be taken under the the supervision of the
okay.
Ayurvedic doctors or the experts.
Madhvi ji, yes. Madhvi ji, your question, please.
नहीं वो जो एक जो दीदी थी उसने वो चाहती थी कि वो जेंडर के लिए, तो आयुर्वेद में ऐसा कुछ होता है कि पर्टिकुलर कोई डे पे कुछ, या तो कोई कुछ तो ऐसा होता था, मतलब हमारे एल्डर्स, मतलब आयुर्वेद में, या ऐसे ही कुछ पुराने इसमें कि पर्टिकुलर डे पे ट्राई करते हैं कुछ ओड और इवन, ऐसा कुछ भी कुछ तो था, लेकिन मुझे याद नहीं है। मैंने ऐसा कभी, मतलब एक लेडी पूछना चाहती थी, वो शायद वो जानना चाहती थी कि ऐसा कुछ हम वैसा कोई बायस नहीं हो रहा है।
I would like to make it very clear from this platform, we don't want to comment on these questions, even if there is some science behind it. But our master, our Gurudev, has never promoted this. So we would not like to comment on this. What do you say, Arpita?
Yeah, actually, all these in today's scenario, we actually don't go with this. So, because before it used to be under the supervision of these great rishis. Today, generally, I mean, people don't have that much of power actually, or probably, they cannot tell. And that time, the things used to be so organized, our system used to be so organized that, those odd even could work. But now we actually don't know when we are ovulating. So, and telling all these things, I don't know how
we are
much
talking on base of scientific researches.
scientific, yeah. So on basis of science, it does not actually support all these odds and even days and all.
Yes, somebody who has raised the hand by the mobile number 8EE. Please, your question.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask that radiation affects the early pregnancy.
Yes. Yes, actually, the thing is, actually, we didn't have time. Otherwise, I would have shown you that the research says that, if it's an elder person, so the radiation that goes into the brain is like, the penetration. Actually, if you say, the penetration is 25%. If there's a kid of 10 years, the penetration will be 50%. If the child is of 5 years, the penetration in the brain will be 75%. And if the baby is in the mother's womb, the penetration is 100%. So the radiation, the penetration of the electromagnetic waves during this pregnancy is the highest, and it can impact the brain development of your baby. So we usually recommend that, should at least, whenever it's very emergency, then only use all these electronic gadgets. Otherwise, it should be, kept, even out of your room if it's not required, and, should use the minimum
Early
of the
the
gadgets.
pregnancy, more the damage.
Yeah.
Early the pregnancy, more the damage. The only thing you can do to nullify the effects, the bad effects of radiation is to conduct a yagya. Even a small yagya per day can, it can nullify the harmful effects of the radiation. That is an entirely different topic. I
Yeah, but
work
it
in a
has a
hospital
very
setup.
harmful effect.
Yes.
It will say,
Then?
yes, it will have the very harmful effect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you are in a hospital setup or you are exposed to radiation, you should not be very close to that segment where the radiation is given if you are pregnant or if you are planning.
Means CT, MRI and X-ray radiation also affect the in early pregnancy.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
CT MRI is not at all recommended. Only one X-ray per pregnancy is recommended, and that too with a shield, protected cover. Only one X-ray per pregnancy, and not that in the first trimester. It is not advisable in the first 3 months. CT MRI is contraindicated.
Okay, ma'am.
If there are any more questions, chat
One in the chat box.
Proper clothing can prevent radiation of laptop? Not really. I mean, actually, if you can use the table, or rather than keeping on your lap or near to you, if you are keeping it on the table, a little ahead, far from like yourself, so that is like fine. When we are keeping it on, when you touch the laptop or the systems to the body, then it will have the it's very close, right? So that will have more impact. Ma'am, ये seminar Hindi में it's already there in Hindi. We'll share. You can message me. You can mail me on this, and we'll send you the link of this.
Yeah, and can I have all these recordings, because Arpita, you did wonderful job today. I really loved it, and it is going to help to so many couples. So
Sure, ma'am.
yeah.
You can just message me or mail me. I have already given my mail ID, so you can reach us out, and we'll definitely share the recording of it. It's already there on AWGP Live YouTube channel. We have 2 YouTube channels. That is AWGP Live. If you'll just type there, you can get it. And also Garbhotsav seminar. So there are 2 YouTube links that is there. But if you are not able to get it, you can mail me or you can contact me. We'll definitely share that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Dharmishta. Please unmute yourself. We are almost getting close to the end. Dharmishta ji, please unmute yourself and ask your question. She has raised her hand. Yeah. Yes, please.
Hello.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Yes. मैम आपका मेल आईडी कहाँ पे होगा?
Chat. Okay. I'll just send it on the chat box.
Okay, ma'am.
Regarding the food session, we already have on 19th a session on healthy diet during pregnancy. Practical session at food diet. We are already having a session on healthy diet, which we'll be talking about on 19th. And for practical classes, if you want, we'll send you the link or share with you. It is being conducted. The practical classes are being conducted by the UP team, Uttar Pradesh team, by the name of Maki Pathshala. Tomorrow probably I'll send you the link for that also, where we are conducting sessions on dhyan, music, fetal communication, everything practically.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have undergone IVF.
Pardon?
I have undergone IVF. It's my
Okay.
it's my 10th week of pregnancy.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, is double marker scan necessary or anti-scan will do?
No, it is a combination always of NT&B scan and double marker, which is required to predict.
Okay, ma'am. So these both are necessary scans. We have to undergo them.
Yeah, between 11 to 13 weeks. No, one is the scan, the other is a biochemical marker.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sorry. I was not knowing that. I was very curious
No,
to
you
know.
could have asked your gynecologist for that.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. We have some questions in the chat. Actually, you've already given. Okay. Shall we wind up now? I think so. It's time also. 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Shanti Part. Om Dyo Shanti Antariksh Gum Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Roshadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishwe Deva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redi Om Shanti 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 Sarvarishtu Sushantir Bhavatu. Once again, thank you, all of you, for attending this session, and thank you, Arpita, for giving this wonderful talk.
Yeah, thank you. See for tomorrow's talk.
Yes, I'll make an announcement. Tomorrow we have a very important session where all these things you will learn how to implement. That is ideal lifestyle during pregnancy. What small lifestyle modifications a pregnant woman can undertake and bring about a drastic change in the future personality and the development of the baby. So it will be again the same time 4 to 5:30, and the speaker is again a gynecologist from Jabalpur, Dr. Amita Saxena, and she is a devoteful disciple of Pandit Shri Ram Sharma Acharya and a very hard-working volunteer of All World Gayatri Pariwar and a coordinator of Madhya Pradesh Agone Sanskarvan PD team as well. So looking forward to all of you joining again in time, please, so that we can start the session exactly at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.